Live and direct from anywhere in the world, it's The Kelly Show with Dr. Kelly Mondesire.
Hey, welcome back to The Kelly Show. Real people with real stories in real time. And cut that out. I'm Dr. Kelly Mondesire. I'm the host of your show. And today I have some very special guests. And this is my trusty assistant. This is Wolfgang von Hundy. Say hi. Oh, he used to talk, but my dog was jealous and ate his tongue. He's very sad. Anyway, welcome back to the month of January, continuous giving and social impact. And today there's a very big reason why Wolfie is here to open the door of the green room for our special guests, because these guests have nothing on Tom Cruise, Top Gun, Air Force One, or the Blue Angels. These guys are spanking and rocking, and what they're doing to make changes for children and doggies is spectacular. So, Wolfie, go let them into the studio from the green room, and we're going to be back after word from our sponsor, okay? And get their autograph, okay? All right, don't forget. All right, we'll be right back.
This portion of The Kelly Show is being brought to you by the Runway 28 Beverage Company, makers of premium pink Irish vodka infused with mixed berries. Please drink responsibly.
And welcome back. Hey. It is Captain Paddy and Lucky and their agent, Jason Phelan. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, guys. So nice to see you.
How are you doing? Thank you for having us on.
Jason, even though you're just not the you're only the agent, so many of our viewers don't speak the bear language. So I know you're here to translate for Captain Paddy and Lucky today. So thank you for being their translator and being here and honoring us on The Kelly Show. So please tell me where you, Captain Paddy, and Lucky are from, where you are in the world now, and give us a little bit of the backstory of how you all met.
Yeah, for sure. At the moment, we're in Mullingar, which is a town about 60 kilometres outside Dublin. And I myself am from London originally. My parents are Irish. And I moved back to Ireland about 12, 13 years ago to spend more time with the family. And Captain Paddy and Lucky came into my life in December 2022. Captain Paddy being an Irish Air Corps bear, and Lucky being his sidekick and pet. And we all met up because we decided we wanted to do something for two great Irish charities, which is the Laura Lynn Children's Hospice and Dogstruss Island.
Wow. So tell me, how is it that these guys manage to travel all over the world? What's their secret? Because I'm jealous, and we have some photos that you've sent in of their great adventures. So let's go to this first one, and let's go through each one. Tell me who these people are, what's going on, and this is an amazing duo.
For sure, yeah. So the concept of the adventures of Captain Paddy Lucky came about on the 28th December 2022, and we wanted to fly the two bears, Captain Paddy and Lucky, to raise awareness and funds for the two charities. And they went on their inaugural flight on the 17th of January with First Officer Laura Russell, and that was from Cork to Heathrow. And ever since then, they have been non-stop flying, and they become ambassadors for Irish Aviation, which has been phenomenal. These are just some of the fantastic people that have helped in their adventures. So we're very lucky that Captain Paddy and Lucky have chaperones, either cabin crew, pilots, or any of our followers who really want to take the bears on their travels, take fantastic photos. They actually carry logbooks, so all their hours are recorded as well. So we have a wealth of signatures from who's who of Irish aviation, and indeed internationally as well. They've been as far as Australia, Sydney, Perth. They've been to the States. They actually delivered a Ryanair 737 from Seattle. They've been to New York, Boston, and everywhere in between.
Wow.
So these are just some of the pictures. So the first picture there is one of our fantastic followers, and Mikey there. That particular day was back in August the 26th, and they achieved a record, which was to fly in the most number of aircraft in one day and the most different types. They flew on 7 aircraft, 6 different aircraft types, and they broke their own record of flights in one day. So that was a very special day for them and the Bears, and all their signatures and hours were logged in that logbooks as well.
Wow. Let's go to the next slide.
Yeah.
And what's happening in here? And you know, do they did they have to go through special training to fly on some of these aircraft?
Absolutely. Well, Captain Paddy is an ex-Irish Air Corps bear, so he's had a wealth of service, shall we say, and flown on many different aircraft types. And when he started the adventures with Lucky, he's actually teaching Lucky how to be a pilot and enjoying all the aspects of aviation. But they also like to go in the back of the aircraft, help the cabin crew. They actually help deliver the foods during the service as well. So it's fantastic. But this particular side, not only is it flying, they actually visit aviation museums. And the first slide is Foynes Aviation Museum. And
wow.
It's amazing. Not only is it dedicated to aviation, but a very good story. Kate O'Hara, her husband was actually a flyer of flying boats and used to fly from the States to Foynes back in the day. So we had a fantastic day there, and they've actually got some fantastic memorabilia. So I'd highly recommend, if anyone comes to visit Ireland, to pay Foynes Museum a visit. The second image is taken from Duxford Imperial War Museum, which is based in the UK, just outside Cambridge. And that picture is specifically taken in the American Air Museum. And that is dedicated to the Americans who fought during the Second World War. And again, they have a fantastic array of American aircraft there. And I highly recommend a visit if you visit in the UK as well. Now, the third photo is when they spent 2 weeks with SAS Connect flying around Europe, which they had a fantastic time. And then the final picture there is when they spent a couple of weeks with Airbus helicopters. And that was a phenomenal couple of weeks for them as well. They got to go to France and Germany. So, yeah, they're certainly getting their hours up.
So let's go to the next slide. And I have a question. Do these boys have EU passports, or do they have British passports?
They actually have Irish passports. So,
yes,
they have their Bear passports, and they've actually been stamped many times by immigration. So we have stamps from Australia, United States, and Dublin and Belfast here in Ireland. So yes, they have their teddy bear passports. So they're legal. And this particular photo was taken back in September. Airbus were fantastic, as is everyone else. They actually gave us a corporate donation of €1,000 to Laurel Lynn Children's Hospice, and staff also raised an extra 250. So they presented that cheque to myself and Captain Paddy Lucky, and we took it on behalf of Laurel Lynn Children's Hospice. So
that's so
we'd like
nice.
to take this opportunity, not only just Airbus, but everyone involved, because you know, without the support of so many people, we wouldn't have raised as much money as we have.
So let's go back to the charities. Let's talk about the children first. And do the boys go and visit the children? And tell me about this charity. Tell me how it was founded, what it does for the audience out here who is not aware of what these guys are actually doing.
So Captain Paddy and Lucky actually represent each of the two charities. So Captain Paddy represents Laurel Lynn Children's Hospice. The hospice was set up because there was no hospices in Ireland, and they help parents who have children with life-limiting disabilities. We have been up to visit Laurel Lynn twice. We haven't met any children, obviously, because of the sensitivity around why they're there. But we have been up there, we've visited the staff, and they do an incredible job. And just even walking around the grounds is, it does make you realise that we're very blessed to be able to walk around, use our own mobility. So Laurel Inn is a charity that I've been involved with before in the past. So when we came up with the concept for the Adventures of Captain Paddy and Lucky, Captain Paddy was very adamant that he would represent Laurel Inn Children's Hospice. So,
oh, that's nice. And what about Lucky? What's his shtick?
So Lucky was rescued as a pup by Captain Paddy and Lucky, and unfortunately they were left on the canal here in Mullingar. So Lucky is very blessed and thankful to Captain Paddy for looking after him. Lucky's backstory is very much based on my own dog called Jazz, who was also a rescue dog. So Dogs Trust Ireland was always going to be Lucky's chosen charity. And we have been up to Dogs Trust twice as well. In fact, actually, we were up there very recently, and Lucky got very close and personal with some of the rescue dogs there. And it was very heartwarming to hear the stories and actually meet some of the people there that were actually adopting some of the dogs that had been abandoned. Unfortunately, it's a problem that is very big here in Ireland. And so we're trying to do as much as we can. Raising money isn't the key. Obviously, awareness is a huge thing, and we've managed through Captain Paddy and Lucky to have a lot of publicity here in Ireland. So it's not just about raising money; it's raising awareness of the needs of both the two charities. And I'm personally very thankful to the Bears for being the face of the Adventures of Captain Paddy and Lucky for that reason.
Well, you know, it gives me chills because we're doing this month of continuous giving and social impact. And the combination of these two fellas being so impactful for children and doggies is, we think of children and dogs, children love dogs, and the teddies just bring it all together, which is just so, it's just a kind, beautiful idea. But how you've taken this it blows my mind. But let's go into the next slide and talk a little bit more about this, because folks, look where these guys go. I'm so jealous. How does it happen? How do you do this? How does he manage?
So this is an amazing picture, and it was actually taken with one of my helpers, should I say. I have 3 fantastic helpers, and if I could just mention them, that's Andy Garland, Brendan Digney, and Robbie Merrigan. Without their support, I wouldn't be able to support, as their agent, the Bears in their adventures as they are. And this particular day, it was the first time that Captain Paddy and Lucky became Bear Force 1 rather than Bear Force 2, because they went separate ways. Captain Paddy remained in Ireland with me, whilst Lucky went on a huge adventure, which we will talk about later on. So whilst he was having an adventure away from Captain Paddy, we were touring around Ireland, and we were so lucky to be at Lime Tree Airfield and have an experience. That's actually me sat in the back.
Wow.
Looking down, wondering how I get myself into these situations. But Captain Paddy was brave enough, so I decided, well, if he can do it, then I can do it as well.
Well, he looks like he's going, wee!
Absolutely, yes. So this is a flex-wing aircraft, and it was an amazing experience because it's almost like it's obviously open cockpit flight, and
wow.
Yeah, it's one that will live in my memory for a long time. And that image, I think, captures that moment brilliantly.
That's crazy. That's really, and he doesn't wear a helmet. He's really brave. Look at these dudes.
And just that's a testament for us to be at the right place at the right time, because that wasn't planned. That all happened 15 minutes and said, oh, do you want to go flying? And then that picture was taken. So that's a great testament to the Bears and their story and what they're doing, and people being involved. And it's through people and their support is how we've managed to get as far as we have.
So do they raise money for the two charities every time they go up, or how does that work?
So all the flights are pre-booked. So the initial concept was that they'd fly around, their logbooks would be filled in, and at the end of it, we'd auction them off for 2 charities. The fundraising along the way happened incidentally, and I am blown away that back in December we hit a huge milestone, and at the moment we're at €10,000 raised between the 2 charities.
Wow.
And I can confirm, I can't say how much, but we already have a new total that will be coming in the next week.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know, this goes to show that you can be really small and make huge differences.
I had somebody give me a quote a few weeks ago. The bears are very hard to stand up on their own.
You think?
Together, they lean on each other. And I just thought that was a fantastic quote, because that represents everything that they stand for.
Oh, it's wonderful.
This one here, this was with Airbus in Germany, and we had to get huge permission for this flight to take place, because the particular helicopter they're in is a new design, a new concept. So all these photographs had to be approved by Airbus before we were allowed to show them. So that just shows you the places that they've been to and have gone to, and even the exclusiveness of some of their flights, where we can't record them, or we have to have approval for the photos.
Wow.
So, yeah. And that, again, that was the time Airbus really pushed the button for us, and, you know, laid out the red carpet. And we were so thankful for them for these particular photos, because this represents everything that they've done so far in the last 2 years.
And the next slide is super cool, because look where this little bear is. Do tell.
This is phenomenal. When we came up with the concept, all 3 of us decided that we wanted to have a goal that we wanted to try and achieve. Mine was to have them photographed outside the Sydney Opera House in Australia. Tick. Captain Paddy was to fly in a Supermarine Spitfire. Tick. And Lucky was to fly with the RAF Red Arrows. And this is him in Red 10's aircraft. And Corporal Phil Dye there, he, for the last 2 years, was the official photographer for the Red Arrows. And you can see his phenomenal photography on all of their promotions everywhere. This, to me, was a moment that I knew we'd really gone as far as we could ever go. And it was timed that the Red Arrows, 2 days after that photograph was taken, they flew over the Glastonbury Festival on the Saturday. The same day Coldplay were playing. And yeah, it's just
and you know
phenomenal.
what's really cool? They both have blue outfits on, aviator outfits, and if this little guy put his goggles on, you know, his nose and muzzle almost matches the mouthpiece of the pilot.
Yeah,
really. So I guess that's why he doesn't need the oxygen mask, because his nose is so big.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, that's impressive. And let's go to the next one. Who's this?
And then this is Captain Paddy and Lucky when they flew in the Supermarine Spitfire. And this was the 3rd and final goal that we achieved last year, that we all had set out and we wanted to achieve. And this to me was just something that I personally, along with Captain Paddy, hoped we'd be able to achieve. We went so near the mark 3 times and it never came through. And purely by luck, Mickey Mahan, who had the bears at the time, was the same person who broke the record I was talking about earlier on the same day. 2 days later, managed to get them up flying in Supermarine Spitfire. And it's just testament to people's support again, that we've been able to achieve those goals. Wow. And how well known are the boys around the world? You know, when people see them, do they identify them as, hey, it's Captain Paddy and Lucky? Like, you know, if I saw Pluto or Goofy, I'd go crazy. If I saw these guys in the airport, you'd better watch out, because I'll never let them go. Definitely in the aviation world. We have had comments from people, oh, are these the bears that are flying over from Ireland? So yeah, their status is getting bigger and bigger. We were very fortunate back in September 2023. They were actually made the Maltese news.
Wow. So let me ask you this. Would the boys consider starting a I don't know what the word would be in aviation, but a fleet of personnel, bear personnel that would be international to go all over the world and represent, children's hospices or doggy rescues globally? And I know they speak their own bear language, and each has their own little bear accent depending on where they come from. But have they considered that? And have they considered publishing books, children's books or comic books or coloring books on their adventures?
Well, I think international representation would be a phenomenal thing. And I certainly know that we'd be happy to take any ambassadors on to support the bears in any country around the world, not only where they've flown to, but any country that looks at them and thinks, do you know what a fantastic idea to have a representation to support any local charities for themselves as well. So yes, I think, Captain Paddy is nodding there. And I think that's something, that's a concept that should be looked at.
Well, I'll have to talk to you as their agent, and we'll get together with the boys, because I am learning bear, because I do ride a Harley Davidson here in the States. I've been all over the United States on my Harley, and maybe the guys can appoint a representative to ride with me on my Harley, and we can have some bear adventures here in the United States on the Harley. What do you guys think about that, boys?
I think that's something that would be a chair. Definitely.
All right, cool. So let's go to the next one, which is another great slide. This is like super duper. Where was this?
So this is when the two bears were in two separate aircraft. This was with the Czech Air Force back in May last year.
The Czech Air Force. Wow.
Czech Air Force, and they were actually flying in a supersonic multi-role fighter called the Saab Gripen. And it's the highest and fastest the bears have ever flown. They actually flew supersonic, and as you can see,
how do they deal with the Gforce? Do they deal well with the Gforce?
Absolutely, they're very well trained, and as you can see, Lucky is absolutely beside himself there.
He looks joyous, man. He looks totally joyous. It's Gforce. Gareth is saying in the chat, it's the Gforce. May the force be with you, Wow,
absolutely.
Cool. That is so cool. And then we have another adventure. Now, who are these dudes? So, is this how they get through security?
That's just them getting through the town here in Mullingar, because they're actually quite famous here in the town. And they met on Garda Corner, which is the police here in Ireland. And to promote, we had a fundraising day here in Ireland during August. And we went round to all local businesses, and we bumped into the Garda, and we had to convince them that, the bears were above board and, good local citizens. So they had their photo taken, and they helped us promote our fundraising day, which was held in the local shopping centre here in Mullingar.
Oh, that's wonderful. So what would be the guys' vision for the next 5 years? What's on the table? What's on the planning table for the boys?
Well, at the moment, the bears are actually coming to an end this year.
Oh no!
Yes,
they're retiring.
They're going to be retiring, because they've been going 2 years now. So obviously, the original concept was that they were going to be auctioned off with their logbooks, and as you can see here, they've collected memorabilia, badges from all their journey. We've even had airlines printing boarding passes for them. So on their travels, they've been collecting all these badges. And as you can see, that was the Red Arrows.
Wow.
That's a Spitfire. They have an Airbus badge, EASA, National Flight Centre. So they will be auctioned off with the bears. I am being slowly convinced to possibly extend it on. but we're going to see how we get on between now and September.
But what are they going to do without each other? They've been everywhere together. What are they going to do by themselves? Are they going to visit each other? Are they going to write? What's going on?
Absolutely, yeah. They'll still be friends. They'll still be aviation buddies, aviation bears. So Bear Force 2 eventually will become Bear Force 1 as they become solo. But we'll see. We'll see how this year pans out.
Well, they have to hire representatives to keep the energy going, because my next trip over to the motherland in Ireland, I want to see one of these dudes on the plane. I go nuts. There we go. I'll probably get arrested. They'll probably put me in cuffs and take me off the plane. But we do have another slide that's pretty important. What's happening here?
So that actually leads on from the picture from Mongardashire Corner. So this was our fundraising day in the local shopping centre, and it was fantastic. We had a few volunteers that came along to join us for the day, and that day we raised €900, which is phenomenal. It was a Saturday and it was a very busy day, so we were very thankful to all the people that stopped by, and we had an awful lot of people coming up asking us questions. Not only about the two charities, but also the two bears were very, let's just say, very popular. I might have to have security with me next time. It's very hard for me to keep the eyes on the pair of them. Lucky nearly went missing.
Bear napped. They've been bear napped. Oh my God. You mean I might actually see them on the side of a milk carton if you've seen this bear? You saw.
Particularly Lucky. Lucky seems to be very popular. I think it's his aviation goggles.
Maybe it's all the pins people want. You know how crazy they are about pins.
And I think it's his little island hoodie as well. His hoodie's very unique.
Oh, so let me ask you a question. And this question is for each one of you. Okay. If each one of you could name a person, place, thing, bear, or other animal or experience that you're grateful or thankful for. Let's start, Mr. Translator, let's start with Captain Paddy, then Lucky, and then Jason, you go last.
Well, I think Captain Paddy would say he's very thankful to the Irish Air Corps. He trained in our local airfield called Aviation in the T-Bear Flyers. And he then went on for a career into the Irish Aviation Authority. So he continues to represent the Air Force here in Ireland. As you can see, he still wears his uniform very proudly. So I think he'll always be very thankful and grateful to the Irish Air Corps. Lucky, I think, will agree with me when he says he was always thankful for Captain Paddy. Captain Paddy he rescued him from the canal here in Mullingar, and since then, they've been the best of buddies, and they fly everywhere together. They don't do much together. So I know it's going to be hard for them to separate at the end of the year, but they're doing it for a very good reason and a very good cause. They will be going to 2 new happy homes where they'll be giving more joy to new people. For me personally, Biggin Hill Airfield in the United Kingdom, where I was brought up, it was our local airfield, and they used to have an air show every year. At the age of 3, my parents took me along, and I got to see the Red Arrows, many other aircraft. And for 35 years, I would have attended that air show before it finished. And it pushed me from a hobby to a career in aviation, which I'm now 22 years working in aviation myself, having initially started out with UK Civil Aviation Authority in aircraft registration and flight operations. And now here in Ireland, I continue to align myself professionally and as a hobbyist. And Biggin Hill will always have a fond memory in my heart. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much and thank you to all 3 of you for being on The Kelly Show. And folks, you see, you can be so different, so small, and make such big, impactful changes on not only children, but animals, and bring a smile on everyone's face, no matter where you go. And Captain Paddy and Lucky do this every single day, and it's continuous giving. And if you would like to learn more about the adventures of Captain Paddy and Lucky, we have their contact information up here. And if you would like to reach out to them, I'm sure they've got a few more travels.
They have indeed.
Okay, I'm sure they could just make another special visit before they're whisked away. And if you would like to participate in the auction for a good and noble cause, but hey, you have to give these boys a good home. And you know, I have a good idea. I think whoever out there would consider participating in the auction should consider adopting both of them so they can continue out the rest of their bear lives together instead of by themselves. I'm going to cry. Oh,
as they're aging, I'm going to find it very tough. I have to say, they've been a part of my life for 2 years and 2 months so far. So yeah, it's going to be incredible. And I think Captain Paddy Lucky and myself would like to thank you for having us. It's been wonderful to be part of the show.
This has been joyous. I can't thank you enough, Jason. Boys, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. And thank you for this. This has, I have to tell you, no offense to anybody else that's been on the show, this has been the most joyous and fun episode I've done up until this point. And again, thank you. And anyone considering on participating in the auction, please do consider adopting both Captain Paddy and Lucky together so that they can continue their adventures and their lives and eat lots of cookies. Lots of cookies, I'm sure. Me too. All right. So anyway, thank you again. And if you would like to be on The Kelly Show or sponsor The Kelly Show, Real People with Real Stories, we have our contact information below. Reach out with your name, your contact information, your story, and why you would like to be on the show, because this year we are theming every single month. So next month is going to be the month of love and everything the heart. So stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Subscribe to The Kelly Show, and we will see you soon. Peace and love. Gareth, take it away.
If you would like to be a guest on The Kelly Show, send us an email with your contact information, where in the world you are, and a brief description of the story you'd like to share today.